TG3. Hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here, and welcome to Pokemon Horizons Episode 3 review. This episode is titled, As Long As I'm with Sprigatito. Okay, so hopping right off of Episode 2, we had a kidnapping scene, obviously, and now Sprigatito's the one that's been taken. And honestly, I was worried about how they were going to handle that just because we had been hit with like 2 episodes in a row that already were full of action. And the first episode obviously did have a lighter tone that moved to the darker tone. And then the second episode was mostly just action with no real context. Even Liko points out how much of this is happening so fast without any real explanation of what's going on. But rather than pursue Sprigatito right then and there, I'm actually surprised the episode took like a day. Not a day in our time. I get a day in their world, in that universe. They took a night to like rest and recover and actually take a moment to sort of let us breathe for a minute. And honestly, that makes up for a little of my criticisms that happened in episode 2. So good job on that. They took a minute and they said, hold on, stop. Let's catch our bearings, ground ourselves for a second, and really take in what's going on. And they did that. Liko wakes up the next morning. She sees that her clothes are being laid out. She actually took some time to take a rest, to sleep it over. Yeah, she still doesn't have Sprigatito, but now she has a chance to really settle down for a second and realize what's going on. She's still upset and worried about Sprigatito. She's still upset that Sprigatito is gone. But at least here, she's taken the moment to go, okay, let's slow down a bit and then continue forward. And I really like that. I like that we decided to not jump straight into pursuing Sprigatito. I thought the next episode would literally just be okay, now we're chasing the explorers right after that. And it's just action after action. For as much as I love action and a shonen-based anime, this was a good moment. This was a moment where we needed a beat. A moment where we needed a time to rest and lick our wounds and really calm down. So they do end up losing the explorers, but later on in the episode, they see they were able to find them thanks to Rockruff, because Rockruff was actually playing with Sprigatito earlier that last episode. So that does make sense. I like that actually correlates to what was happening. Because Sprigatito had contact with Rockruff, it's easier for Rockruff to go find it. So it's cool to see that the crew member Pokemon aren't just random Pokemon that they're showing up on the ship. They all have some level of purpose to them, which makes them, one, have better fleshed out personalities, and two, it definitely correlates them to their crew members that they're a part of. So we see that the crew members that have each of these Pokemon are going to be utilized in some utilitarian form, one shape, way, or another. And that's good to see. I like that. I like that Liko is all set for going to save Sprigatito, but she needs to slow down for a minute. And even the characters tell her, hey, calm down. We'll find her. We just need to, take it one step at a time. Amethyst, and I can't remember what the other woman's name is right now. It was a woman, Konia. Her name is Konia. Amethyst and Konia end up showing up. And when they show up, they actually state that they're not going to use Sprigatito as a bargaining chip. However, Konia can't focus because she actually likes Sprigatito. And I find that relationship kind of cool. And I'm glad that every one of the explorers aren't just these battle-heavy, super serious characters. I'm glad that they all are pacing themselves and they have different personalities. It feels like a nice mix between Best Wishes Team Rocket and Sun and Moon Team Rocket, if that makes any sense. I like that there's a balance. I like that they flip-flopped between the characters that are serious and the characters that are a little bit silly. So it's good. It's good to see that they are able to hop back and forth on that. One thing I do like also, we see that Molly is one of the characters that tells Liko to go pick up potions and medicines at the Pokemon Center. And Now we actually get a real answer, and this is definitely what separates this anime from the previous Pokemon anime that we've been watching for 26 years. We see here that we legitimately find out a little bit more about the economy and how the world of Pokemon works when it comes to medicine distribution. Medical items can be ordered at the Pokemon store, much like a pharmaceutical or a pharmacy. I like that. I really like that. I like that they actually take the time to really show that can happen. Molly had made the order. Liko is the one that winds up picking it up. And also while she's picking it up, we see that there's this girl who has a Vulpix who gets injured. Nurse Joy tells her to put the Vulpix's operation front and center while Liko's order is put on hold. And that makes sense. Pokemon have priority here. But it does give us a chance to have the girl, while she is nameless, interact with the character, or interact with Liko. Because this scene is supposed to show off the layout of, okay, Liko is learning what another trainer feels like without her Pokemon, so that she feels similar without Sprigatito in her hands. And I like that. I like that level of interaction. It really hammers down that even though Liko's just started off as a Pokemon trainer, she's starting to learn why having a Pokemon is so important to her. So it's really good that they utilize that as well. And even like the trainer walking to Liko, they could have easily cut the scene straight to it, but she like walks in a slow pace. And I didn't think this was annoying because it actually felt like the world was real, was palpable, everything felt like it had some form of weight attached to it. Liko rushing off to go find Sprigatito, only for Freed to tell her to slow down and stick with the plan that he's got. I like that Freed tells her how dangerous it is to go in without a Pokemon, even though he himself is super reckless. I like the battle that Freed has with Amethyst, which this is their third battle already in like 3 episodes. And in this battle, I love that Amethyst actually catches on to former strategies. I like that Captain Pikachu winds up doing the double team Thunder Punch strategy, only for Freed to not fall for it and actually use Phantom Force to counter it. I like that. I like that Freed's getting progressively better, as well as Amethyst. Both of them are learning from each other. It kind of makes the rivalry seem a lot more solid than just, oh, this is the good guy and this is the bad guy. So I do like that. I like that approach towards battle. I like that when Liko finally gets reunited with Sprigatito, they end up causing a distraction so that Freed and the others can escape and ditch the explorers. So the chase is still on. It's just the chase is taking a different route this time around and has separated the two. So I do like that. And I like that now that Liko finally trusts the others, we actually learn a little bit more. We learn that Liko's mother actually hired them to be bodyguards for Liko. But that also begs the question, wait, then why did you send her to the school alone? My guess was that they were supposed to be discreet bodyguards that Liko wouldn't notice, and she would be protected while she's at the school, and in exchange they would get paid money to do it. But Freed kind of messed that up when he just went in and swiped Liko. At least that's my theory as to what happened. The show doesn't really elaborate on it, and it does beg some questions that I do hope this series tries to answer. But for now, we know very little about Liko's family. Actually, we do end up seeing Liko's grandmother up close. We see like a visual of her, and we also see that Liko's grandmother has an Arcanine. So that's actually pretty fun to note as well. Just something important. Obviously, that may mean that we'll probably wind up seeing her later. Who knows? But as of now, we at least can confirm she looks similar to Liko and has an Arcanine. And thank goodness she doesn't look like Delia or anybody that's connected to the original anime. I'm glad they went ahead and did that and said, hey, no, she's not related to Ash. Good. The clip that she has in her hair should just be an homage and nothing more. Keep it as far separate away as humanly possible. There needs to be no connection to the other series. I like that this is on its own. That way we can judge it on its own merits. Obviously, we can make comparisons here and there because realistically, they're both Pokemon animated series. But it's good to see that there are noticeable, tangible differences in the world, and the world allows me to take it in and absorb it and learn more about it. But the mission goes as a success, and Liko officially joins the Rising Volt Tacklers. And I love that when they do that little cool little handshake thing, like the rawr and then move up. I like that Liko is delayed a little bit, only because she just wound up joining the group. She's new, so she's still got to learn it. And plus, she's a little bit more timid. So it definitely makes sense that she's the one to learn that step a lot later. And it's good to see that she's back with Sprigatito. I'm glad the Sprigatito kidnapping arc didn't last like too long, because they just got started. It would be kind of bad if that it went on as long as possible. But other than that, I think everything went by pretty well in this episode. I really liked it. It definitely helped answer some questions that I had for some of the parts, and I definitely like that it addressed some issues that I had in episode 2. Honestly, the world building in this episode definitely helps it a lot more and definitely bumps that score up to a 9 for me on this one. Yeah, really solid episode, really good. I can't really think of too many downsides. The only thing I could possibly think of that hurts its score from being like a 10, it's definitely noticeable that when they're not in battle, there are some shots that look kind of wonky. Now, it's not consistent enough to make it hurt the episode really badly, but they are noticeable. There are definitely some noticeable shots that are like, okay, it's clear we're not in a battle situation. So we are using as little animation budget as possible for this scene, and obviously not this scene. But hey, I get the business. Animation is a cutthroat entertainment franchise, so you got to put the money in where the money's best invested. So if it's going to be for battles, at least it's for the action sequences. Can't get too mad at that. Like I said, pretty much a 9 out of 10. But other than that, that is pretty much all I got to say for this episode. I understand the first 2 episodes that we've done review-wise have been a lot longer, but I think I'm trying to keep this around the 10-minute mark. Probably around the 10-minute to maybe 12-minute mark max. Obviously for viewing pleasure as well as viewing convenience. I just know that since this is a brand new Pokemon series with a brand new cast and brand new characters, we're definitely going to wind up with a lot larger of a setup, and thus there's more that I'm probably going to need to elaborate on and explain, especially for very dialogue or heavy plot related episodes. So with that being said, I think for now, we're going to be moving on to the Roy stuff, which we did get a little bit of the Roy stuff towards the butt end. It's when Roy finds the Rising Volt Tackler's flag, which was already washed up on the shore. I'm guessing from the battle they had earlier in episode 2 on the ship, or due to the storm knocking it off. So I'm guessing those are what connects the two. But for the next episode, it's going to be titled The Treasure That Washed Ashore. With that being said, I will see you all then, everybody. Tyrone TG3 out. If you want to know where most of my time is spent, head on over to my Twitch channel to watch me stream games on Tuesdays through Thursdays, as well as Saturdays and Sundays. Also, be on the lookout on the PokePod, a podcast stream on my friend TG3's channel, as we discuss the latest Pokemon anime episodes, as well as anime, manga, video games, and other fun topics. That's it. Go do those other things. This video's over.